With the first pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears will select Caleb Williams, quarterback from USC. This is the future of the Chicago Bears. I know a lot of Chicago Bear fans, they hate this. They're upset with them moving on from Justin Fields. But at this point, it is what it is. Ryan Poles did not draft Justin Fields. And I said this a couple weeks ago. This team would be better off if they went out there and traded Justin Fields. I thought that you could have at least gotten a 4th or a 5th round pick for the kid. But they got the draft capital that they could for Justin Fields. And now it's time to move into a brand new direction. Ryan Poles did not draft this kid, and he did not draft Mitch Trubisky. I see a lot of hate right now with the Chicago Bears fan base. They're saying, hey, we're just going to draft another quarterback in the first round. He's going to be a bust. You did that with your former general manager when he passed up on Patrick Mahomes. And I do not believe that Caleb Williams will be the next Patrick Mahomes. He's going to be the first ever Caleb Williams. I think that Caleb Williams is a very good quarterback coming out of college, and he's going to be in a great situation. The reason why I hate the Patrick Mahomes comparison, Patrick Mahomes got to sit down his rookie season. That's not going to be the case for Caleb Williams. They're going to throw him straight into the fire. Patrick Mahomes got put into a very good situation when Andy Reid got to sit behind a very good veteran quarterback in Alex Smith. So it may be a lot of bumps in the road with Caleb Williams his rookie season, but they have the right playmakers around this kid. You look at his numbers this year in college, they were not the same the year before when he won the Heisman Trophy. But up to the halfway point of the college season, this kid was in the Heisman discussion. There were talks about him winning the Heisman in back-to-back years. That's how great of a quarterback this kid has been in college. We haven't seen a prospect like this in quite some time. I'm not going to compare him to Andrew Luck. I'm not going to compare him to Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to compare him to Caleb Williams. This is a guy that will fumble the football from time to time, and he will hold on to the football for too long. But that's part of Lincoln Riley's system. Baker Mayfield had the same issue with holding on to the football for too long when he played with Lincoln Riley. And then you also look at other situations with Jalen Hurts as well in college. All those guys have transferred over, and they have been very solid to good quarterbacks in the NFL. Baker Mayfield has now found a home with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jalen Hurts just went to a Super Bowl a year ago with the Philadelphia Eagles because they have the right team around them. Caleb Williams would come over, and he's going to be in a very great situation with the Chicago Bears. You have a brand new offensive coordinator with Shane Waldron. Luke Getsy was the screen master. This man loved to call screens over and over again. And you're not going to have to deal with that right now. Shane Waldron went out there. He helped develop Geno Smith into being the quarterback that he is right now. A very good offensive play caller. And you look at the weapons with the Chicago Bears. It's different from the last couple of years. Ryan Poles deserves his flowers. Yes, he went out there and he traded Justin Fields for basically nothing. And he did have a misfire with trading with Chase Claypool. If I'm Ryan Poles, I'm done trading with the Steelers because they always finesse this team. But he's had some very good moves as well. When you look at that trade from last offseason, when they traded with the Carolina Panthers, they came out of that thing smelling like roses. And they looked like geniuses doing it. Because not only do you have your 9th overall pick, that first overall pick belongs to the Carolina Panthers. But it is the Chicago Bears pick now. And they got DJ Moore in that trade as well. And DJ Moore is a true number 1 wide receiver. He does not get his love. This season, he had to split time with Tyson being the backup quarterback. They had to come in for a few games when Justin Fields was out, and he put up some very good numbers. 1,364 receiving yards on the season, 8 receiving touchdowns, and he averaged 14 yards a catch. That was the 6th most receiving yards in the NFL, and he was tied with the 8th most receiving touchdowns in the NFL. And this team went out there and they traded for Keenan Allen. They got him for a 4th round pick. Now, he's dealt with injuries in the past, and he missed the last couple weeks of the season dealing with an injury. They could still draft a wide receiver in the 1st round. But when you look at Keenan Allen, a savvy veteran, you have a wide receiver that is a route master. 108 catches on the season, 1,243 receiving yards, 7 receiving touchdowns. This is an awesome wide receiving core. Yes, you lost Darnell Mooney, but that kid struggled to stay healthy with this team. And he did put up over 1,000 yards receiving a couple of years ago, but he was the only valuable option besides Cole Kmet. And then you look at Cole Kmet as well. It's the reason why he got a contract extension with this team. A very good tight end with this team. Put up very good numbers. 719 receiving yards on the season. 6 receiving touchdowns on the season. He's one of the better receiving tight ends in the NFL. When you look at Justin Fields, when he first came over to the Chicago Bears, it was a horrible situation. Matt Nagy was the freaking head coach. You did not have star wide receivers out there for the kid. You look at what Caleb Williams is entering into, this is not the same Chicago Bears. They select him with that 1st overall pick. You can move back in the draft with the 9th overall pick. There's a chance that there's going to be a star wide receiver there, possibly Malik Neighbors. He could be there, or a guy like Rome Odunze. But this wide receiving class is so deep, you can get you a wide receiver in the 2nd or 3rd round. And why not go out there and fix the offensive line even more? In last year's free agency, they acquired Nate Davis. He missed some time this season dealing with an injury. But when he's fully healthy, he's a solid guard. And you drafted Darnell Wright in last year's draft class in the first round. And he had a pretty solid season for a rookie. Darnell Wright went out there and he did the best that he could on the field. And he was getting better game by game, it seemed like. Now, he did allow 7 sacks, but he also played 1,127 snaps as well. And usually, rookie tackles struggle in the NFL. But those last 4 games, he did look better on the season. You hope that he can pan out. This team could possibly go out there, draft another tackle with this team, pair him up with Darnell Wright and Nate Davis, and you're going to be in a better situation right now than you were a year ago with Justin Fields. I really do believe that. And that's just the offense. We haven't talked about the rest of the team on the defensive side. They also went out there and they acquired a very good running back in DeAndre Swift. Now, I will say, go with caution with that move. He struggled with injuries with the Detroit Lions, had a great year this year with the Philadelphia Eagles. But he was on a great Philadelphia Eagles team. The offensive line was one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. Jalen Hurts may not be that natural passing quarterback, but he's one of the best rushing quarterbacks in the NFL in terms of getting yards with his legs. And you also have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, so teams cannot stack the box against the Philadelphia Eagles. So he benefited a lot. But he's a true every down back. He can catch the football at the backfield. He can run in between the tackles. He can catch the edge. He's explosive. And you also still have Khalil Herbert as a very good running back on his roster as well. He'll be a very good number 2 running back to a guy like DeAndre Swift. And Khalil Herbert missed some time this season. He was trying to bend backwards for a bad ball by Justin Fields, and he hurt his leg, which is a freak accident. But he's a very good running back with this team, especially when it comes to catching the football at the backfield. He has 611 rushing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. So you have 2 very good options right there for a rookie in Caleb Williams. And you look at this defense, one of the best rushing defenses in the NFL. Now, Matt Eberflus, I have a lot of questions about Matt Eberflus. I do not know if he's going to be a very good head coach long term. I think this team would have been in a better situation if they moved off of Matt Eberflus, but I fully understand it. You're going to let him stick around. This team went 5-3 in the last 8 games of the season. Very impressive, I will say that. Their defense did play better when they went out and they acquired Montez Sweat in a trade. Another great move by Ryan Poles, I may add. This is the first guy in NFL history to not only lead the Chicago Bears in sacks, but to lead the Washington Commanders in sacks. He led 2 teams in sacks this season, 12.5 sacks, and they have him locked down for the long term with a contract extension. The one thing this defense was missing over the last couple of years, even when Matt Nagy was there, when they traded Khalil Mack, was pass rush, was a consistent pass rusher. You have that right now in Montez Sweat. And Montez Sweat was amazing on the season. You could possibly go out there and you could get you another pass rusher and put alongside him as well in the first round. The possibilities are endless right now because of the extra draft capital that you have with this team. And you look at the linebackers. You acquired T.J. Edwards in last year's free agency. He's a very good linebacker. Tremaine Edmonds is a very good linebacker as well. This man has all pro potential. This man was great with the Buffalo Bills. You bring him over to this team, he looked very solid this year as well. Very good. Can go out there tackling space and cover tight ends and cover running backs in space as well. I love his game. You also have Kevin Byard with this team. Did not have the best season this season with the Philadelphia Eagles or the Tennessee Titans, but we know about him in the past. He has been very good in the past. And the reason why he did not have that success with the Philadelphia Eagles, it's hard to get acclimated to the system. When you trade at the trade deadline, he did not have OTAs. He did not have training camp with those guys. He will get that with this Chicago Bears team. And Matt Eberflus will coach him up. I don't know about him as a head coach, but as a defensive mind, he's one of the best in the NFL. He's very excellent at that, especially against stopping the run and putting pressure on the quarterback as a whole. And you also locked down Jalen Johnson, who was one of the best corners in the NFL this season, had 4 interceptions. Tremaine Edmonds also had 4 interceptions as well and 1 forced fumble. And you also have Andrew Billings with this team, solid defensive tackle. He's going to go out there and make some plays. He's not one of the best. He's going to go out there and make some plays. So this Chicago Bears team, they're heading to the right direction. They have all the pieces right now to set Caleb Williams up for success. You do worry about the bust rate, but there was no way that the Chicago Bears are going to have Caleb Williams and Justin Fields on the same roster. And I will say this right now. The reason why you could not do that, if Caleb Williams was to go out there and he will just have a couple games where he's struggling, the Chicago Bears fans would be saying, we want Fields, like how they were for the last couple of games of the NFL season. But I do believe that the Chicago Bears could be a dangerous threat in that division if Caleb Williams can pan out. And it's not going to be a cakewalk. The Minnesota Vikings, they may be terrible with Sam Darnold. They may not be. We will see. They need to trade up and get a quarterback. So they're in a weird situation right now. The Green Bay Packers, they are a very good football team. We saw what they were able to do in the NFL playoffs and what they did against the Dallas Cowboys. I understand it's against the Dallas Cowboys, but Jordan Love is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And the Detroit Lions, they're phenomenal. But at the same time, the Chicago Bears, on paper and statistically, have the best defense in this division. The Detroit Lions, they struggle to play defense at times. The Minnesota Vikings, they gotten better over the last couple of weeks of the season, but they struggle with consistency. And that's one thing that you have to look at. In the Green Bay Packers defense, Joe Barry is no longer there. We'll see what their defense is like. They're switching everything around, switching the whole entire scheme. That's a brand new defensive coordinator. So the one thing with the Chicago Bears, besides changing in a few players, your defense has remained the same from this season. And the defense was not the reason why they went out there and lost football games. This team would have made the NFL playoffs if they did not blow that lead against the Cleveland Browns and against the Denver Broncos because of the play calling decisions by Luke Getsy and by the head coach, Matt Eberflus. Let that sink in. And how much of a different conversation will we be having right now if they were to go out there and make the NFL playoffs if Justin Fields did not have that thumb injury? But unfortunately, he had the thumb injury. And as soon as the Carolina Panthers were the worst team in the NFL and the Chicago Bears had that first overall pick, Justin Fields' days was numbered. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you guys feel about the Chicago Bears moving forward? I know a lot of Chicago Bear fans, they don't really like Caleb Williams because of some of the off the field stuff. I would say this right here. He hasn't done anything Johnny Manziel like off the field. He's not a partier. He's not going to go out there and get suspended and do dumb things. He hasn't had that track record in college. Just because he paints his fingernails and he's done some other things, you should not judge a quarterback off of that. You should judge him off of what he does on the field. And people may say, well, USC quarterbacks never pan out. Be careful with that. People said the same thing about CJ when he came from Ohio State. They said Ohio State quarterbacks never pan out. Looks like he's panning out. This kid is set up for success, and so are the Chicago Bears. It may take a couple of years, or they may just come straight out the gate. But the biggest thing that I would say with Caleb Williams is to be patient in the NFL, take what the defense gives you, and do not go out there and try to make the crazy throw over and over again. And guess what? His Heisman Trophy season, when the offensive line was better and he had Jordan Addison, he did that. This kid's going to be successful at the next level. Just give it a couple of days, and Chicago Bear fans, they'll love this kid. Give it a couple weeks into the regular season. I promise you, they'll forget all about Justin Fields if they go out there and they are a very good football team with Caleb Williams and he's a massive hit. And if he's not a massive hit, Ryan Poles may get fired. It's a double-edged sword. If they held on to Justin Fields and he was not going to be the guy, they're going to fire him. If Caleb Williams is not the guy, I can see them firing him. I wouldn't do that, but let me know in the comment section below what you think's going to happen with Ryan Poles in the future as well. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, want each and every last one, guys, stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. God bless. Peace.